Your Honor, at this time, the state calls Ruth Coleman.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Hello.
How are you? Welcome. Could you just stop there and raise your right hand? I'll swear you in. You do solemnly swear that the information you're about to provide will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? All right, thank you, ma'am. Go ahead and take a seat up here. Just get comfortable. And when you do sit down, if you can spell your name for my report. Okay? Thank you.
Ruth, R-U-T-H. Last name Coleman, C-O-L-E-M-A-N.
All right. So, ma'am, if you could just scoot up a little, make sure you speak loudly into the microphone for us, okay?
Okay.
Thank you. Do you need some water or anything? All right. Thank you. You may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. Good afternoon. Can you please introduce yourself to the jury?
Good afternoon. My name is Ruth Coleman.
Can everyone hear her okay? Thank you. Ms. Coleman, thank you for being here today. Do you know somebody by the name of Dawan Ferguson?
Yes.
How did you meet Dawan Ferguson?
I was his kid's teacher.
At some point after you were his children's teacher, did you become a nanny for the Ferguson household?
Yes.
Do you know approximately when that was?
Shortly after I was their teacher, I moved in to be their nanny.
And
Hold on one second, ma'am. Can you scoot a little closer or pull it down? I'm having a hard time hearing you.
Okay. Shortly after I moved, I was their nanny. Shortly after I was their teacher.
so, just so I'm following right, you were their teacher and then you became a nanny?
Yes.
And how is it that you became the Ferguson kids' nanny?
He asked me to.
He asked you to.
Yes.
And when you say he, are you referring to Dawan Ferguson?
Yes.
Were you a nanny that would work part-time, full-time, or something else?
Full time.
Right. Would it be something where you would go to the house, or did you live in the house?
I was a live-in.
All right. Where were you a live-in nanny with the Ferguson household?
What do you mean?
Do you know what street this was on?
St. Vincent.
And was that in St. Louis City?
Yes.
Okay. If you can remember, do you remember the years, roughly?
No.
Early 2000s?
Yeah.
Late 90s, early 2000s?
Mm-hmm.
Who were the kids that you would nanny for?
Connor and Christian.
At any point, did the relationship between you and the defendant go beyond that of a live-in nanny?
Objection, relevance.
Your Honor, we discussed this pretrial. It goes to explain the subsequent conversations between the two of them.
Yeah, that'll be overruled. You may answer the question now.
Yes.
Did you become his girlfriend?
Yes.
And was that while you lived in the house?
Yes.
At some point, did you stop being the Ferguson nanny?
I was the nanny/girlfriend.
Okay. At some point, did you move out of the St. Vincent house and stop taking care of the children?
Yes.
I want to flash forward a couple years after that had happened. Did you keep in contact with Dawan Ferguson kind of off and on during that whole time period?
Yes.
At some point, did you learn about Christian Ferguson being reported missing by his father?
Yes.
And subsequent to learning about that, did you have a conversation with Dawan Ferguson about it?
Yes.
Did you ask him what had happened?
Yes.
What did he tell you?
You know me, I had to do what I had to do.
When he said, "You know me, I did what I had to do," did you ask any further questions as to what that meant?
I just looked at him.
You looked down?
Mm-hmm.
Did he say anything else about it?
No.
Did you attend any sort of prayer vigils or search parties looking for Christian Ferguson?
Yes.
Did the defendant, Dawan Ferguson, have anything to say to you about that?
I shouldn't go.
He told you not to attend them?
Mm-hmm.
Is that a yes, ma'am?
Yes.
No further questions, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Cross-examination?
Thank you.
Now, when you were the nanny, Christian was the first citrullemia child you worked with, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And you knew Christian before he had his coma in 2001?
Mhm. Yes.
And when you took care of Christian at the daycare, he could walk and talk and eat by mouth?
Yes.
And when you became the live-in nanny, Dwan educated you about the disease?
Yes.
Ms. Steele, can you talk more into the microphone? I have trouble hearing you. Thank you.
And you were the live-in nanny for about a year or over a year?
About a year.
And with you being the nanny, Dwan would order and pick up the meds?
Yes.
And when you were there living in the house as the live-in nanny slash girlfriend, as you said, you would be able to observe Christian and Dwan together, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And Christian would be happy to see Dwan.
Yes.
And you were not concerned that Christian wasn't getting proper care?
Objection, Your Honor. Invades the province of the jury.
Well, I'm going to sustain the objection, but you can ask a different one.
Were you at that time, a mandated reporter?
What?
A mandated reporter?
No.
Okay. When you spoke with Dwan, when he made this statement about, I did what I had to do, you were wearing a wire for the FBI, correct?
Your Honor, objection. May we approach?
You may. so the objection's overruled. Why don't you ask the question again,
Okay,
please?
thank you. You met up with an FBI agent, and I believe her name is Special Agent Liza Ludovico, correct?
I don't remember her name.
Do you remember working with a FBI agent?
Yes.
Okay. And she asked you to wear a wire when meet up with Dawan Ferguson?
Yes.
Okay. And you met up with him to see if you can get him to talk about Christian.
Yes.
And obviously, you didn't tell him you're recording.
No.
And as you had stated on direct at that time, you still had some contact with Dwan off and on, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And you claimed that Dwan said in that conversation, I did what I had to do,
Yes.
correct? And Dwan did not tell you what that meant.
No.
And you met with him again and wore a wire another time.
Yes.
And the FBI wanted you to do that again.
Yes.
And again, you tried to get him to talk about Christian and to say something potentially incriminating, correct?
Yes.
And despite your efforts,
Your Honor, objection as to subsequent conversations or self-serving hearsay.
Well, I don't know where the question was going. I'm going to overrule the objection for now. Finish your question,
okay,
or state your question.
yes, despite your efforts, he did not say anything incriminating at that time.
No.
Your Honor, I'm going to renew my objection and ask that it be stricken.
Yeah, that objection is sustained. So, ladies and gentlemen, you'll disregard, please, the question as well as the answer. And both will be stricken from the record. You may continue.
Thank you. And that second time you met up with him, he did not know you were recording him.
Correct.
Okay. And he was still someone you would talk to from time to time, right?
Yes.
Okay. And I believe at that time, were you still intimate off and on?
Yes.
Okay. Even after you did those wires for the FBI to go talk to Dwan, you still would talk to him after that, correct?
Yes.
And that was to check up on him,
Yes.
and that's something that you did on your own.
Yes.
Okay. Now, the relationship that you had with Dwan when you were the nanny girlfriend, like you said, you ended that relationship, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And you did not end the relationship because of Christian, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Matter of fact, you still wanted to see Christian outside of that, correct?
Yes.
Christian did not get in the way of your relationship with Dwan, correct?
No.
Now, you just said on direct something about don't go to a prayer vigil. When you spoke with that FBI agent, did you tell her at any time that Dwan said don't go to a prayer vigil?
I don't recall. I don't know.
You don't remember?
No.
Okay. Nothing further.
All right, thank you. Redirect.
No, Your Honor.
A witness may be released.
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you, ma'am. You may step down.